Actually, if you know how to make the present situation to bring it to advantages in terms of meditations, in terms of sickness, this is the best time. Because why? Then you can see the contrast, the differentiations of the mind that is being affected and be dragged into the contents of the disease, and the mind that can stand outside of the disease. When I say your mind has been dragged into the content of disease, that means these four elements, because of the imbalance, because of the effect by the changes of the four elements, that means the air, the water elements, the heat elements, and the fire elements, right? It created a kind of changes in the atmosphere, and thus this human body that is not strong enough will fall sick. We said imbalance of the elements, right? And in the medical world, they will take a lot of research, very refined research to label, to give labeling, and then to warn how destructive the disease is, and blah blah blah, and all these things. And that is the worry part, and how to do preventive measures so as to let it spread, and so forth, right? And as such, when this kind of messengers, this kind of news or message has been spread throughout, so everybody those people who don't meditate, those people who don't understand the truth of this nature will be very, very badly affected. They will be scared. Oh, what are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. We should follow this. And yeah, it's correct. And after following, you see what happened? People still die. People still fall sick. People still get the disease in certain extent, except it is just being controlled at a very level, right? And that's it. But if you look at the reality, what I'm trying to say, the reality of life, if you were to put the principle of impermanent, anicca, you see, why all this preventive measure has been made and yet people still die? Maybe we have a lot of terminal disease before the contract of this disease, and yet therefore they die. And people who don't exercise, people who vows to be or their lifespan have been used up, they die. And that's all. And you wanted to talk about sickness and die. It's not only COVID-19, right? It's just a change. So if you want to meditate, how are we going to look at the problem? We got to go to basic elements that this body of our mankind, human beings, consists of these four elements: earth, wind, water, fire, and space. And this consciousness of ours going to take occupation into this body, so-called human body, right? And when there's a changes in the elements externally, or the change of element internally in our own body, we can see the defect, we can see the contrast, see the changes within our body, right? You have too much water, you got to clear the water. In what way? Sweating. In what way? Urinating. This is the way you cool the body by excreting this liquid, right? And if you are too cold, like what we have been doing, putting on more clothing, open a heater, start a fire to keep yourself warm. If not, what will happen? You fall sick. You fall sick because there's a lack of this heat element. There's an imbalance of this heat element. You fall sick, you get cold, right? If there's too much water, you don't excrete it out. what will happen? Your body will get bloated up, right? And if there's a lack of this filament, you have what problem? You have digestive problem. You can't digest your food. You will get bloated stomach, a lot of gas. And you see how vulnerable our body is. And this is the reality of the whole thing, when we are able to contemplate in this manner, in terms of the Dharma, Anicca of the body, then we can accept the truth. Then we say that, yeah, we try our best, right? Try our best to do a lot of goodness for ourselves, because why? It's so unpromising, this body of ours. You see? One moment we hear something happen here, another moment something happen there, and it just, merry-go-round, round the bush. We are round the bush because we live in this supposition world. We are round the bush because this world, the conventional law. You see? But the law of nature, as there's only one law of nature, and that's the truth. The truth about anicca is impermanent. If you hold the law of this universe, the truth of impermanence of things, then your mind won't suffer so much. Right? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Right? And it's so fair. If there's karmic that you will go through it, you can't run away. You see? You talk about insurance coverage, you talk about this and that, you can't prevent death. This is only the supposition world. So when we practice Dharma, remember, we must be above the world. We must try to contemplate a lot into the impermanency of all things, in all circumstances we come along. Then we won't be hurt when certain things happen, not according to our wishes. Then we say, see, because we lack of these contemplations of this thing, that's why we keep attaching to the views we have to be permanent. Things to be like this, or to like that. And this is why our mind can't settle down. But if you were to contemplate, like I said yesterday, the more you contemplate, the more acceptance the mind, being able to accept the truth of impermanence, the truth of no self, the truth of this world of suffering, then the more your mind will get lighter. You don't have to tell yourself. There's no such thing to remember yourself, let go. There's no. The real letting go got no labeling at all. It's just the mind state of, it's so light. You still feel relief. Because why? No supposition thought can weigh down your mind. Because your mind is not attached to all this garbage is coming out from the mind. You just watch it and you laugh at it. But you must make use of this mental formation for this supposition world when you want to use it. After that, you look at it, it's crazy up there. There's a separation there. And you see, it's so light. It's so nice. It's so happy. You can say, die now, better die now. Shit, so. Sometimes I think, hey, karma haven't used up. Want to go, so cannot go. Sometimes you think, die is better. It's true. Because why? When you die, you have to go through this suffering of the body. And the mind is so carefree, so happy. Right? But people who don't contemplate, people who don't understand the nature, you will be forever being weighed down. Weighed down not by external, by our own thoughts. Our own these evolutions of the thoughts. It keeps spreading in. Everything is so real because we keep grabbing on the content of the thoughts. And it, liking, disliking, being generated because of this. Because of not being able to discharge yourself from this cycle of the thoughts. If you're able to have a firm concentration practice, firm mind state. Firm, I say firm. Let me tell you, nothing can touch you. Your body can be dead, tired, dead. But the mind is okay, very happy. It just, shit, this is body. But what to do? That's why you got to contemplate all aspects in life. Everything that pops up, grab it and contemplate. Going into anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then you will find the lightness of the mind. If you can develop that, and you one day you practice, my mind getting lighter. I don't know why it's so light, so blissful. You are on the right track. But the more you practice, more and more thought arising, more and more knowledge. I know this, I know that, I know so much thing, and blah blah blah. You will weigh yourself because of the knowledge. The knowledge, the attachment to the knowledge will only weigh us down. You see, we know already, we acknowledge it, and that's it. And the mind will detach. Right? You got to do it. Contemplation of the body into your own body. Right? A lot of people, they feel that it's a waste of their time. I try so hard to bring my mind to calmness, and now you want me to contemplate. Well, if your mind is in a state of calmness, you try to test yourself. What happens if this thing happened to me now? Something dear to you happened to you now. Can you accept it? Something happened to you. Can you accept it now? You cannot bluff yourself. You got to challenge. Be brave enough to bring up certain very sensitive question to yourself that will touch your nerve. Then you can see that, I still can't let go. Why? Then we plop in why. Then we can dig up. Then we start to explore new ground in our mind. New ground, new faces. There's a hidden agenda hidden. The more we peel in, then we saw. We can see deeper. Then we can eradicate the thing slowly. I use the word slowly. It may take years, take months, take years and years of practice. It's not easy, because if we can't develop the strong foundation of the calmness of the mind, you can't do that. We can't do it, right? Just plain mindfulness that normal people play mindfulness. You think you can cure the defilement? Everybody will be arahant already. But it's not so easy. But of course, it's not beyond human beings trying. Right? That's why we are here. That's why when the Buddha taught the Dharma, right? There are many levels the Buddha discourse was being preached to certain people at different levels. So remember, when we contemplate, always go to the anicca, dukkha, anatta. Keep going it. Don't say, this one I know already. I know. Who say I know? The I know comes from where?